Hello everyone, this is Dr. Irfan Kamruddin Andani, and today I am going to continue my previous topic of biomechanics, and today we will discuss about the types of orthodontic tooth movement and concept of couple in this presentation. Types of orthodontic tooth movement: you can have translation, tipping which can be controlled and uncontrolled, intrusion, extrusion, torque, and rotation. Translation is the type of movement in which all the points of the object move equally. For example, in this tooth, if this tooth from incisal edge till the apex move equally in the direction of force, then we call it translation or bodily movement. Intrusion is the apical movement of the tooth, while extrusion is the coronal movement of the tooth. Tipping is the movement in which crown moves more than the root. This can be uncontrolled tipping and controlled tipping. In uncontrolled tipping, which is also known as simple tipping, the center of rotation lies between the center of resistance and the apex according to few books, while in profit you will find that when force is applied on the crown of any tooth, the tooth displaced and simultaneously it rotates around the center of rotation, which lies at the center of resistance. Both the statements are same, don't get confused. There is no conflict between the statement. The only difference is that Prophet has used the word displacement as well along with the rotation when you apply force away from the center of resistance in the example of uncontrolled tipping. In controlled tipping, the movement of the crown is in the direction of force with the center of rotation at the root apex. Torque is the movement of root more than the crown. Rotation is the rotation of the tooth around its long axis. How do you achieve translation? When you apply force at the level of center of resistance, the tooth translates. All the points from incisal edge till the apex move equally in the direction of force. You can see that there is no rotation in this kind of movement. In physics, the tendency for a force to produce rotation is also known as moment. So you can say that when you are translating a tooth, there is no rotation or no moment in this kind of tooth movement. Now the question is that can you apply force at the level of center of resistance? No, that is impossible because center of resistance is at the root and it is covered with the alveolar bone. So clinically, you always apply force at the level of crown, whether you are using removable appliance or fixed appliance. When you apply force away from the center of resistance, you will get simple kind of tipping. Whenever you apply force away from the center of resistance, object will be displaced and also rotate around a point which is known as center of rotation. When you are applying single force, the center of rotation is at the center of resistance. And remember, center of rotation is the point which itself does not move at all. Now, since you have rotational tendency here, so we can say that there is a moment. How to calculate moment? The formula is very simple. When you multiply force into force arm, you will get moment. Force arm is the distance between force application point and the centric relation. If you have applied 50 grams of force, for example, and the distance between force application point and the center of resistance is 10 millimeter, your moment is 500 gram millimeter. Clinically, if you are applying force on a tooth, the single force will result in the movement of the crown in the direction of force and root is moving in the opposite direction and the center of rotation is exactly at the center of resistance. This is the simple and uncontrolled tipping. If you have used 50 grams of force and the distance between the force application point and the center of resistance is 10 millimeter, again you are having 500 gram millimeter moment. This is the movement which you get from removable appliances. Since removable appliances apply force at a single point, whether you are applying cantilever, single or double Z-spring, canine retractor, labial bow, all kind of springs apply force at a single point, and that results in simple and uncontrolled type of tipping. This is the pet question when you are asked in your exams that why you do not achieve any other kind of movement with removable appliance. The answer is that it applies at a single point, and that results in simple uncontrolled tipping because we do not have any control over the root. So the question is that how do you control the root movement? Let me explain that with the example of this scale. If you are applying single force to move this scale, you will get uncontrolled tipping. If you want to control over the upper part of the scale, then you have to use two hands. When you will move your left hand upward and right hand in the downward direction like this, then you can have some control over the upper part of the scale and you will be able to move that towards your right. So here you have applied two forces. Both the forces are equal in magnitude, opposite in direction, and both are non-collinear, and we call it couple. To control the root, we have to apply couple. And remember that when you are applying couple on any object without any other additional force, you will get center of rotation at the center of resistance again. Now let's replace this scale with a tooth with the bracket and wire inside. If you want to move the root towards your right side, then again you will have to apply force in the same way. In this manner, you will move root towards your right and center of resistance and center of rotation are at the same point. Now let's have a close look what is happening inside. When you have started to apply force on the wire, initially wire is tilted within the bracket slot till a time comes when wire is in contact with the bracket slot at 2 points. These 2 points, these are two forces equal in magnitude, opposite in direction and non-collinear. So when you will apply this couple, you will get movement of your root towards your right side. Clinically, you do not see hands moving the wire upward and downward. So how do you apply couple? Let me explain this thing with the example of the stage of alignment and leveling. When a tooth is malpositioned, like here, you can see the canine is distally tipped and the root is mesially tipped. You just have to fix brackets and give a very thin and flexible springy wire like oven to night eye, and you just have to place the wire inside the bracket slot. You know that the wire has the property of springing back to its original shape, and while doing that it will apply force at 2 points. Again you are having couple here, and gradually the tooth will move and get upright. A time will come when there will be no more movement. Then you have to change the thickness of the wire. You have to upgrade the wire from oven to night eye to oven 4 or oven 6, and after that when you reach to the heaviest wire you will get perfect alignment. Thank you very much.